Photos have emerged of Nicole Kidman dressed up on set as Lucille Ball in the upcoming biopic Being the Ricardos from writer-director Aaron Sorkin. Nicole has been cast alongside Javier Bardem's Desi Arnaz, and the movie is set to explore a week in the life of the famous couple while filming their hit show I Love Lucy. The real-life couple's children are serving as executive producers, and daughter Lucie has recently shared how she feels about Nicole Kidman's portrayal of her mother. Join Factsverse as Lucille Ball's daughter finally speaks out on Nicole Kidman. I Love Lucy fans were incredibly excited when it was announced famed writer and director Aaron Sorkin was set to make a biopic of the show's famous creators and stars, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. The movie, titled Being the Ricardos, is set to follow the real-life couple during a week of filming their hit show. The movie will have an emphasis on the stars' real-life marriage, which was famously mirrored in their on-screen relationship. Their marriage was filled with controversies and drama, resulting in the two divorcing soon after the show ended. Lucille and Desi had 2 children. Their first child, daughter Lucie, was born while the couple was developing the show. Their second child, son Desi Jr., was born during production. Famously, Lucille incorporated her real-life pregnancy with Desi Jr. into the show, and Desi Jr. went on to portray her and Desi's on-screen spawn. After Lucille and Desi divorced in 1960, they stayed on good terms as friends and co-parents. They both retained a healthy relationship with their children after the divorce, despite the fact they couldn't make it work as a family unit. It's a good thing for Lucille and Desi they treated their kids right, as their 2 children are now the executive producers of Aaron Sorkin's new biopic. Lucie and Desi Jr. are making sure Sorkin portrays their late parents kindly, though they understand the film is going to need to honestly depict some rather problematic behaviors their late father exhibited during the time he was married to their mother. Desi was a notorious drinker and adulterer, and had some decidedly old-fashioned views on marriage that proved to be the undoing of his relationship with Lucille. Lucie Arnaz has recently come out with her opinions on Nicole Kidman's portrayal of her mother. Being the Ricardos is currently still in production, but Lucie has been allowed to visit the set as one of the film's EPs. Lucie was apparently incredibly impressed with what she saw of Nicole's work on the film. Notably, Sorkin decided to cast actors and actresses who weren't direct physical counterparts for the real-life figures they were meant to portray. Instead, he focused on finding the actors and actresses who could correctly channel the essence of the figures for the screen. According to Lucie Arnaz, Aaron did an incredibly good job when picking Nicole. The scenes Lucie saw being filmed were flashbacks from the days just before her parents met. This means Nicole was portraying Lucille Ball in the late 1930s. The majority of the film is said to center on a single week in the life of Lucille and Desi during the production of I Love Lucy. During that week, Lucille and Desi faced many crises that put both their creative and romantic futures in jeopardy. Although Lucille and Desi's 2 children are executive producers, Aaron Sorkin still seems to have been given creative autonomy over the film. Apparently, Lucie was uncomfortable with a few scenes Aaron had written into the script that she felt inaccurately portrayed her parents, but she was unable to prevent Aaron from filming these scenes. However, Lucie was unable to prevent Aaron from filming these scenes on her own. Miraculously, the sprinklers went off during production and destroyed the set the day those scenes were meant to be filmed. Because of this, Lucie got her wish. Besides those scenes, both Lucie and Desi Jr. seem to be incredibly happy so far with how Being the Ricardos is turning out. I Love Lucy fans can look forward to an honest, cinematic portrayal of the tumultuous marriage between Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz being available to watch sometime in the near future. In the meantime, fans can immerse themselves in the already available lore regarding the iconic Hollywood couple that's being used as inspiration. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. And stick around for more about Lucille and Desi. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz first met in 1940. They met while filming a movie for RKO Pictures titled Too Many Girls. At the time, Desi was 23. He was working as a band leader after his family fled from Cuba in 1933. Lucille was 28 and had been working as an actress for some time. Although Lucille had yet to find her perfect starring vehicle, she had gained a bit of fame. The two hit it off and soon began dating. Lucille and Desi were married the same year they met, and problems arose in their marriage almost instantly. Lucille recalled Desi woke her up the first night of their marriage to ask his new wife to get him a glass of water. Lucille had apparently already started filling the glass up by the time she woke up enough to even realize what was going on, and the differences in values between the two would only increase from there. Lucille tried separating from Desi in 1944 due to the fact he was drinking heavily and had been involved in numerous extramarital affairs. The two had conflicting schedules, which made it incredibly hard for them to spend time together. They decided they wanted to try to make their marriage work. Eventually, the two got the idea they should try working on a project together. I Love Lucy was initially conceived as a way for Lucille and Desi to be able to spend more time together. Lucille's schedule as an actress and Desi's schedule as a band leader were essentially opposite, with Lucille waking up when Desi was going to bed. I Love Lucy was meant as a way for the two to save their marriage. The fact that it became one of the most successful sitcoms of all time was seemingly incidental. CBS expressed interest in the concept of I Love Lucy, but was unsure whether or not American audiences would be able to understand Desi's heavy Cuban accent. Because of this, the network tried to convince Lucille another actor should be cast to play her husband. But the couple wanted the show to be a starring vehicle for them and no one else. Lucille and Desi eventually got their wish, and I Love Lucy premiered to immense acclaim in 1951. It ran until 1957, becoming not only one of the most successful sitcoms of its time, but also one of the most enduring. New viewers are still watching I Love Lucy to this day, and its humor has stood the test of time. The show's format was incredibly influential, with many crediting I Love Lucy as one of the earliest domestic sitcoms. Lucie Arnaz was born in 1951, while Lucille and Desi were actively at work on I Love Lucy. 2 years later, Desi Jr. was born, and his birth was incorporated into the show, with an in-universe pregnancy plotline. Lucille became one of the first women to even be shown on TV as pregnant, a feat made even more notable due to the fact that I Love Lucy had always portrayed the characters of Lucy and Ricky Ricardo as sleeping in separate beds. Sadly, neither I Love Lucy nor their 2 children proved enough to save their marriage. Despite all the work he and Lucille had put into their show and their family, Desi could never bring himself to stop his drinking, and he continuously mistreated and cheated on his wife. By 1960, Lucille had had enough. 3 years after I Love Lucy had ended, they officially divorced. Despite their divorce, Lucille and Desi continued to be good friends until their deaths. And they continued working together to provide support for their 2 children and run the production studio they founded in 1950, Desilu Productions. A few years after the divorce, Lucille amicably purchased her ex-husband's share of the company, making her the first female CEO to ever head a major Hollywood production studio. Under Lucille's sole leadership, the studio became more successful than ever. In 1967, she sold Desilu Productions for $17.5 million. Both Lucille and Desi remarried after their divorce. Lucille married comedian Gary Morton in 1962, and Desi married Edith Hirsch in 1963. Desi was the first of the former celebrity couple to pass away. He died in 1986 of lung cancer at age 69. Lucille died 3 years later of an aortic rupture at the age of 77. Their legacy lives on, and fans anxiously await the release of Being the Ricardos sometime in the future. Now it's time to hear from you. Comment down below to share if you're excited for Aaron Sorkin's new look at the real-life couple behind I Love Lucy. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.